Two NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Thursday Night Football. Jets versus the New England Patriots at MetLife Stadium. Before I get started, you guys, link in the description below of this video. Hop to the premium Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. So I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. There's other cappers in there as well. Overall, it's a super positive community, you guys. Everyone in there really is trying to help each other cash. Also want to mention I'm not a gambling expert and this is not financial advice. Simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. But let's get right into it, you guys. Jets New England on paper seems like a pretty ugly matchup. Looking at this one, I think it's 7-point spread for New England. Or sorry, the Jets are 7-point favorites here. 38.5 over under. So Vegas projecting not a ton of points here, but again, nonetheless, 6-point spread, 38.5 over under. The Jets are obviously favored here pretty heavily, playing here at home, coming off a win. Both teams are 1-1. I know New England lost last week in kind of a shootout somewhat against the Seahawks. But let's get into it. Two player props that I do like. Again, all the links in the description below this video. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about Daily Grind Fantasy, you guys, a research betting tool that I do use every single day. DFS Optimizer if you're on Underdog, Better Picks, Dabble, Sleeper, whatever platform you play DFS on. Link in the description, 25% off your first month over at Daily Grind, which I'm going to be talking about again at the end of the video, so stay there. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get into it. The first play for this matchup again is going to be Hunter Henry over 3.5 receptions. His receptions targets is set at 5.5. It's bumped from 5 to 5.5. And for some reason, this is plus money on books. Doesn't make sense to me. I think in a negative game script with the Jets being 6-point favorites, I think in the second half we're going to be expecting New England to be having to throw the football. And I think this is a great spot for Hunter Henry coming off maybe one of his best games of his career. Against Seattle at home, 12 targets, 8 catches for 109 yards. Pretty crazy. He had an insane game. I think he finished 18.9 PPR fantasy points, ran 28 routes, 42.9% target share. I mean, if we get half the targets here for Hunter Henry that he got in this game against Seattle, I think he's got a chance to hit this line. Week 1 in a weird game against Cincy, 3 targets, 2 catches. But there's a couple reasons why I really like this spot. One being the outside cornerbacks for the Jets being super elite. Going back to last season, the Jets allowed the fewest amount of targets to wide receivers in the NFL. Sauce Gardner, TJ Reed, KJ Osborne, Jalen Polk, Demario Douglas are all I consider them to be like upside guys, like good NFL players, but none of these guys are elite wides, you guys. So, going up against Sauce and DJ Reed is going to be a tough matchup for those outside receivers. And I mean, Jacoby Brissett already favors Hunter Henry, like he wants to target Hunter Henry. I think this season, Jacoby Brissett this season, he might have like one of the lowest ADOTs in football. I think he's at the 4th lowest ADOT, average depth of target, 5.6 ADOT this year, which is I think the lowest of his career. If we're looking at ADOT, yeah, easily the lowest of his career so far. A ton of checkdowns, right, specifically to Hunter Henry. And given the matchup that the Patriots wide receivers have outside, also super interesting that CJ Mosley is questionable. He did not practice all week with a toe injury. He's their number 1 cover linebacker. Like he's the linebacker that would be matched up on Hunter Henry. So if he's out, it's going to be a second string guy guarding Hunter Henry, which should be able to open up some things there as well. Also, Jermaine Johnson, the second outside linebacker, is out. So that's 2 potential guys that get linebacker reps. Potentially out for this game. But if CJ Mosley is out, this is absolutely huge in my opinion. Also, Patriots offensive line is just really banged up. I know they're missing Lowe, So, and Zeemans, and you can see here, even this article, the Patriots offensive line might be shorthanded versus the Jets. So if their offensive line is banged up, it's gonna have Jacoby Brissett in a hurry to pass the football. And I think there's going to be a ton of checkdowns to Hunter Henry in this one. And if we look at Jacoby Brissett, right? Jacoby Brissett played for the Commanders last season. And this is interesting. This is a little, tell me if I'm reaching here, but he faced the Jets last season with the Commanders, right? And he came in that game for Sam Howell, I think in the second half. He only threw the ball 13 times. But just, this is super interesting that a little tidbit that I found. So he faced the Jets last season in New York. So same scenario with the Commanders, which I think much weaker offense last season than what the Patriots have this season, right? He threw the ball 13 times. In that game, Logan Thomas had 5 catches, and John Bates, the backup tight end, had 3 catches. But if we look at kind of how those targets went about after Sam Howell came out the game, so you can see here, here's halftime, and then Sam Howell plays a possession here, he throws a pick, and here's where Jacoby Brissett comes in the game, right? What is this, like third quarter, 6 minutes left. Jacoby Brissett now in a quarterback, right? Jacoby Brissett, touchdown pass, touchdown pass to Logan Thomas. Okay, so let's just count the targets to tight ends since in 13 total targets Jacoby Brissett has. Let's count the targets to tight ends. 1 to Logan Thomas, 2 to Logan Thomas, 1 to John Bates, that's 3. Another 1 to John Bates here, that's 4. Another 1 to John Bates here, that's 5. Let's keep going down. Another 1 to John Bates. Sorry. Another 1 to John Bates, that's 6. And then, let's see. Another 1 to Logan Thomas, that's 7. So last season, versus the Jets, Jacoby Brissett had 13 pass attempts, 7 targets went to tight ends. Hunter Henry, over 3.5. I like this spot here a lot for him. Second play is going to be a first half prop here. Look, going first half, NFL first half, you got to go up here to the NFL first half. I'm going fantasy score, and I'm going Rodgers. 6.5. Played well last week. Last week finished with 7.44 first half fantasy points against Tennessee, 2.46 in the first half against the tough San Francisco defense. But here's why I like this. So Rodgers to throw a passing touchdown tonight, minus 475. Minus 475 to throw a passing touchdown tonight. And I think it's going to probably happen in the first half. Again, if we're going off game script, we're going off, the lines, right? 6-point favorites for the Jets. Minus 475. So he's pretty much not a lock, but heavily favored to throw at least one passing touchdown. First home game this season for the Jets, and obviously Aaron Rodgers' last home game he tore his Achilles. Jets ready for electric atmosphere. Aaron Rodgers' first MetLife home opener after his last one took a terrible turn, and the New England Patriots defense is elite at stopping the run. Right, this season they're 8th lowest yards per carry in 2 games. If you go back to last season, they were just super elite at stopping the run. It's like Gerard Mayo's, the head coach. He's a former linebacker. Patriots last season, the 2nd lowest yards per carry. 2 running backs. Even this season, we look at the EPA per rush. The 9th lowest EPA per rush the Patriots are allowing. And if you kind of flip it to completion percentage, like for example, Patriots allowing the 5th highest completion percentage to quarterbacks. So I would say of the secondaries that, let's just go down the list. The secondaries that Aaron Rodgers has seen so far. In Tennessee, he just put up 7.44 first half fantasy, and Tennessee has the 3rd lowest completion percentage in the NFL. If we do EPA per pass, New England right here at number 19 EPA per pass, and you can see San Francisco's here at 14, and Tennessee's down here at 11. So it is the weakest secondary he's seen so far, and because I think the New England Patriots are so good at stopping the run, it's going to allow for Aaron Rodgers to, I think, have his best game of the season, right? And if you look at just how, low of a line this is, essentially, 65 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown clears this line. 6.6 first half fantasy points. 65 passing yards and a passing touchdown. So pretty much if he throws a passing touchdown, you guys, this should be free because he's going to throw 65 passing yards in the first half. His first half pass yards line is at 106.5, and this is actually bumped up. You can kind of see how books are expecting the New England secondary to be, considering he hasn't even come close to 100 in either of these first 2 games, and he's at 106.5 in this one. Again, if let's just say he doesn't throw a passing touchdown, and he throws for 150 yards, this should be right around 6. Yeah, 6. So essentially he needs to throw a passing touchdown, but books obviously favoring him heavy, minus 475. Again, this is an outlier, by the way. There's a link in the description, 7-day free trial. But I like this spot here for him at home. I think given the matchup that the running backs are going to have, it should be a great spot for Aaron Rodgers. And 6.5 fantasy, he just needs 6.6 fantasy, which I said is literally, let's just do the math again, 65 passing yards and a passing touchdown. Right? Should be free. And again, he's getting his feet more underneath him, I think. 3rd game now. Gotten better each game, right? First 2 games that he's played in over a year, before this. So I like this spot for Aaron Rodgers at 6.5 first half fantasy score. So these are the 2 plays for this YouTube video: Hunter Henry over 3.5 receptions and Aaron Rodgers over 6.5 fantasy score. If we look over at Daily Grind Fantasy, which again, if you're unfamiliar with Daily Grind, they do the hard work for you. They take the lines from all the major sports books and some of the sharpest sports books in the world: DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, Pinnacle, which to me is one of the sharpest, and then obviously Underdog, Flip, and Hot Streak are here. PrizePicks is right here. So basically, what it does is it takes the lines from all the major sports books and combines them all on one essentially platform, runs the software, gives you a percentage odds to hit based on the odds, because there could be discrepancies on other sports books, right? Like for example, Matt Prater under 7.5 kicking points is the top play on the NFL board right now. 53.9% odds to hit, because he's on DraftKings at -135, on Pinnacle at -132. But like let's just filter this to stat type, and we do fantasy score here, like player fantasy score, which to me is one of the best aspects of Daily Grind. Like Ramondre Stevenson, again, there's nothing that is super high odds to hit, but just to give you an example, because these sportsbooks don't offer fantasy score, PrizePicks does. It takes their rushing yards, rushing attempts, rushing touchdown odds, and combines them into what their fantasy score should be on these books, and then it compares it to PrizePicks. So a little bit of a discrepancy here on the under. He's listed at 14 on PrizePicks. He would essentially be listed at these scores on these sports books. So again, you guys, link in the description below this video. Using promo code TUFF, 25% off your first month. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about Daily Grind. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about these two YouTube plays here. Should be hopefully a good game here, Thursday Night Football. Please drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.